Law-abiding Minnesotan here with North Central Minnesota Press. We are live from the Brainerd Police Department in Brainerd, Minnesota, Crow Wing County. We have a live two-way audit.
Trained professional. So
we have a live two-way audit going on here in Brainerd, Minnesota at the Brainerd Police Department. Brainerd Police Department, AR-15, live two-way audit.
I want to do the first, and we'll do the second.
Right on live TV.
What's up? Chief Davis. Yeah.
Chief Davis is the one that looked the other way when Officer Bryce Johnson colluded with Sergeant Derek Planche to falsify a police report, and you don't want no exposition.
Oh, you got a double stacked mag.
There's actually a history behind this.
Can I?
Yeah.
What's the history behind it?
I actually bought it when I got accepted to skills.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What year was that?
That was 1998 or 7. No, actually probably 1996.
Okay. DPMS. We used to carry DPMS here. Yeah. Then we went to Haldra. That's what we got now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I'm not a huge gun aficionado,
Sure.
but I need to find something that makes carrying this thing a little more practical. Like a strap. I need a strap.
Sure.
You can get the other fancy thing so I can actually sit.
You know, it depends on what you want to do. I like single point slings, so where it would, it would loop, but the point, it would both ends would be on that one point there. So then, it comes around and it hangs there versus hanging there and hanging down there. A lot of times it's just preference, but I kind of like single point slings.
Yeah, I ended up buying that EO tech, I'm not sure if I even. I mean, it's a sweet sight, especially back in that day. It was spendy, but,
Yeah, they're good sites. We used to run EOTechs.
So, what sucks about it is I always forget to turn it off. Very cool, man. Then you gotta hold it and then you gotta hit the bright, it might not be bright enough.
Yeah. But anyway, I've looked through it before. Yeah. Needs a little cleaning.
Like I said, man, I don't really do much with these things. They're too expensive these days.
No, they're fun though. Good luck getting ammo.
Yeah, that's the
Tough.
thing. That's the thing.
Horribly tough.
I got, well, they start making all those 22 AR frames.
Yeah.
So that's what I like to shoot,
Oh,
actually.
no.
I got
A lot cheaper.
got an HK and then Smith & Wesson. I really like the Smith & Wesson. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's a little more practical around my house. It's certainly
Fun little
comes
varmint.
in handy.
Fun little varmint gun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's good.
Don't forget those.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Gun safety, that's the first thing. I learned that in gun safety class when I was probably 10. Hand me a gun, I unload it before I play with it.
Oh, there you go. I understand.
All right. Can I leave now, enjoy a beautiful Friday evening, and go have a beer?
Oh, good man.
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I gotta get this little dramatics done real quick, and you gotta meet someone down at Dunmeyer's, so.
All right, sounds good.
All right, good man. Hey, you passed the Second Amendment audit with.
Two-way audit pass. Wow.
A+.
Two-way audit pass. How's it going, John? Good.
All right, take it easy, man.
See you guys. Have a good
Have a
weekend.
good weekend.
Wow. Only on Crow Wing soil will you get a two-way audit pass. Should we check and see if the old SO is gonna pass? You don't want to walk down the street with that thing, huh?
I mean, I could.
Should we hike right on the street?
More dramatic.
It would. It would. Plus, I don't want to get nailed for recording while driving.
Fair enough.
Got a few folks on my live here yet now. We got 5 tuning in here. We got 2 likes. We just got done with the Brainerd Police Department, a 2-way audit at the Brainerd Police Department. This guy's got more balls than I got. He walked right in there with the AR-15, and they didn't do shit. They wanted to check the gun out. Surprising 2-way audit pass. Surprising 2-way audit pass. We're gonna come around here and check the sheriff's office, see if they do just as well as the Brainerd Police Department. You know, around here, the first time I went into the Brainerd Police Department with the camera, they actually didn't say anything about me recording, which I was pretty pleasantly surprised about that. The records manager, or not the records manager, but one of the administrative ladies in the records department in the sheriff's office balked at the camera and got a little worked up over the camera. But for the most part, they handle cameras fairly well. I went into the couple of the city buildings down the road here, and they handled the camera pretty well as well. Oh, who do we got here? Who's this guy? We got a guy here. Got the guy. Oh, we got. Hey, what's up, chill dog? What's up, chilly dog? Oh, he's heading the other way. He's heading the other way. Wow, so far a resounding pass from Brainerd Crow Wing, Minnesota on the 2-way audit. I wonder what a couple of these quote normal folks are going to do about it. A lot of balls walking right down the sidewalk with an AR-15. I'll tell you what, a lot of balls. I'll go in and ask some hard questions, but I won't have an AR-15 in my hands. You want a shout out, buddy, or no?
I guess the government should fear the people, not the people fear the government.
One more time.
I said it's not that the people should fear their government. The government should fear them.
He said it's
After all, it's their government, isn't it?
right. I agree. He said the government should fear the people, not the other way around. After all, it is the people's government.
Something like this should be normal.
Should be normal. Not posing any kind of threat.
See, this is why you need a strap for this thing.
Yeah. On foot.
Oh, hey, they're burning their calories.
Couple walking.
Some waves.
Chill dog.
Well, you know, it's a Second Amendment audit, you know? See, it's not a bad county.
Right. This lady just thanked you for carrying for her. I can't believe that Blue Line gang member just drove away. Right, Big G. They're like, I can't believe the Blue Line gang member just drove away. He just.
There are employees. I don't like the gang member stuff. They work for us.
Mm-hmm.
We should support them because they work for us.
Right. I get it. No, that doesn't.
They're bad apples, yeah. There's bad apples at convenience stores too.
Sure. What happens if you find yourself in a situation where one of these non-gang members is depriving you of rights?
Well, then,
Do you support them in that, or how do you go about that?
go to court.
You go to court.
You make a complaint first.
You make a complaint.
Then you go to court.
You make a complaint with the agency, or do you just,
No, you do a complaint with the agency and whoever else is supervising that agency, just other overseers.
overseeing agencies?
Yeah, and then if that doesn't work, you go to court. If that doesn't work, well, then you got the Second Amendment.
Right. Okay. There you go. Pretty simple, I guess. Support our public officials because they're working for us. So basically, it's this guy's stance that we should be supporting these public officials. And he says,
Well, we pay them, don't we?
right. What are we paying them for, anyways?
To protect and serve.
Right.
Well, at least that's the. Hi, is Eric playing it?
I don't believe he's in. I believe that Adam should be coming right out and having contact.
Oh. Good man.
Amber and records. We got Cronstead coming out. Cronstead's always been coming out lately. It hasn't been Bradley or Klang. It's been Cronstead. They've been divvying out to go talk to this guy too. Oh, here he comes
He's a
now.
good guy, though.
Yeah.
Why not support him too?
Yeah,
Hey, what's up, Adam?
that's right.
What do you think? What kind of strap should I get for this?
Whatever you prefer.
Well, I don't know. I was kind of hoping for something that, you could have it hang. You know, the other ones like this, kind of hang like this.
Are you a 2-point guy or are you a 1-point guy?
Well, see, that's the thing.
I'm a
really not-
2-point guy.
Okay.
Yep.
So how would that work?
1-point flops around too much, get a 2-point.
Okay. So do I need, is this too old school because I don't have any rails on it?
You can get something that attaches to the grip right there.
So I can pop this off.
No, there's a sling adapter right there on your finger.
Right here. So it would hang like this.
If you set it up that way, it can.
But I could have it hang like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you're a Second Amendment supporter, right?
Yeah.
Okay, see? Audience, these aren't bad guys, so stop calling them gangs.
Oh,
How's it going anyhow?
Good.
Okay, that's cool.
Did you have a good Easter?
So what the heck was I doing Easter? I didn't even go to church, I feel really bad.
Well,
Maybe I'll go twice on Easter next
well,
week.
going to church doesn't make you a good Christian. Forgetting to go to church doesn't make you a bad Christian.
Yeah, but it's kind of like one of those things. You gotta kind of make your sacrifices, and if you can't sacrifice an hour for God, what are you doing?
It's not about a building, no. You do it all hours of the day, die to self, every minute, every day.
Well, sure, I get that, but how does it go? Two people that come together, the Spirit's present?
Yeah. And Jesus is with us even when we're by ourselves.
I don't know, I talked to him a lot. Yeah, it's a good thing. Everything's going well for you?
You got anything else for me?
This guy's-
I'm trying to get out of here, man.
I had a viewer that says, "Get your hands out of your pocket."
What?
I had a viewer that said, "Get your hand out of your pocket," because a lot of times cops command people to get their hands out of their pocket.
He's got no money in his pocket. Oh,
Oh,
right on. Well, I guess Eric's gone. So.
Eric is not here. He's not physically in the building.
Okay, cool. Did you guys hear anything about the whole supposed credible threat or whatever it was?
I don't know what you're talking about.
SCLC?
No,
Okay.
I know nothing.
It's probably contained with Brainerd, I guess it was reported there, so you guys might be a little aware of it, but.
I'm not personally.
what happened there?
Oh, actually, I got one last question, I'll let you go.
Okay.
Remember that guy that came in with the bloody sweatpants and
When
everything?
you were out here, I
Yeah,
talked to him. Yep,
yeah.
I do.
Did he get a ride home? And how did he get home?
I'm trying to remember. So I talked to him a couple times about that.
And I'm assuming.
I don't remember.
I'm assuming you have no idea what the charge is, because that's Cross Lake, right?
That was a cross-link call. And I remember the dude, because you were out here. and I talked to
I
him.
saw him at the courthouse. I went down to the courthouse to get the records, and all of a sudden this guy comes out with bloody. I'm like, that's the guy.
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, no problem. No problem. All right, cool. Well, you have a good weekend, man.
You guys,
Take it easy.
have a good one.
Hope
See
you get the guy you file the next criminal complaint against.
What's that?
Hope you get the guy, the next guy you file a criminal complaint
All
against.
right, Matt.
All
Okay. Take
right.
care, buddy.
I
Thanks.
said no cheap shots.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Don't
sorry.
take it
That
as
was,
a cheap shot.
all
If
right.
you don't understand the process, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, all right.
Okay?
Thanks.
Take care.
See, there you go. See you guys.
Piece of cake.
Posture, Big G, posture. He wasn't liking that.
It's the end of the day. People want to go home.
All right. That's crazy.
I didn't shower to do this, so I'm not really all that jazzed, but there's context behind it.
Well, my viewers and I have seen a lot of 2A audit fails. You know, people getting arrested for doing stuff like this, and so that's pretty impressive. I mean, I think they passed. I mean, there was some comments about body language there on Cronted, but that was probably because I was sitting there filming it. But that's wild. 2A audit pass from Brainerd Police Department and Crow Wing County Sheriff. I did not think that was going to go that way. That's crazy. So our buddy here says nothing to worry about with these guys. They're good guys.
Well, for the most part, when you treat people with respect and return it, it's just we're in this weird schism right now that everyone wants to believe all cops are salt of the earth or they're the worst things ever, and vice versa, by the way. So,
Yeah, we see thousands and thousands of video of people being deprived of rights online by these same officers.
well, again, when you see thousands and thousands of videos on a cop you know, and nothing happens to them, then I guess make your complaint.
Okay.
But here's the thing, is that the vast majority of bad confrontations with police officers is because you're seeing the few bad apples or douchebags that go out of their way to hassle people. But the vast majority of the other people or the other officers are out doing their jobs, so they're not hassling people.
So what you're saying
So
is,
the people you run into are the ones that you don't run into the good ones half the time.
right, so what you're saying is these videos that we're seeing online, there might be 10 times or 20 times that much video out there where nothing like that happens. And just 5 or 10%.
Who's gonna record the mundane serving and protecting?
Because you won't get any
Boring.
you won't get any views that way.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah. All right. All right. So our buddy here says that for the most part, cops do honor their oath. It's just a few bad apples. Now, a lot of people will ask, buddy, why don't all these good apples say something about these few bad apples and get these few bad apples out of the box so that they're not spoiling the rest of the apples?
There's a lot of politics behind it.
Yeah.
That
What is it that's protecting these bad cops?
what's protecting them?
Yes. What is it that's protect? Because the few bad apples, so few of them are prosecuted.
Well, there's a lot of them that get prosecuted. It just doesn't get publicized.
Oh, so there's a lot of cops that get
There's
prosecuted.
some that get prosecuted, and the court system drops the ball. Tony Timpa was one of them, and why do I want to say Schrader? You'll remember the name.
Schrader.
Yeah, I feel ashamed forgetting the guy's name because he was that was sad. He was in a hotel and he got gunned down by some cops with ARs. The guy was pleading for his life.
Oh yeah, is that when they were telling him to cross his legs like
Yeah,
this and hold
yeah,
his arms
doing
like
the
that?
impossible feat.
Yes, yes.
And so he finally failed in their eyes, and next thing you know, he's dead.
Right?
Daniel Shaver.
Daniel Shaver, there you go. Yep, I'm sure a lot of people are
And that guy was prosecuted, but the judge withheld a bunch of evidence.
the judge tossed out a bunch of evidence.
Well, they withheld it. He had it engraved about how he likes to shoot people, and the court said, "Oh no, that can't be admitted to the jury."
So they threw a lot of the evidence out.
withheld it from the jury.
Right.
So it's like, what are you gonna do?
Right.
If you want to clean up government, you got to clean up the courts.
The courts. I've heard you say that before, that the courts are the key to this, because that's kind of what's enabling the few bad apples, as you say, to do what they do, because there's no, not only can they prosecute people maliciously and get away with it, but they themselves will not be prosecuted. Is that kind of the deal because of the courts, because of the judges? Is that...
There's a lot of different reasons why courts are corrupt. From the nature of how judges become judges, they're appointed.
Judges are appointed. Everybody thinks judges are elected.
Yeah, well, that's a misnomer. They're
Oh.
supposed to be per the state constitution.
Sure.
But they never are, or very rarely.
Well, don't
One
we...
out of 100 judges gets elected.
Don't we...
After they get appointed by the judge, there's an unwritten rule. People don't know about it, but you can talk to judges, and you probably get them to admit it. It's an unwritten rule that they retire at a point where before the next election. So the judge or the replacement's appointed by the governor. So now all of a sudden, the judge doesn't owe their job to the people who elected them.
They owe it to the governor,
government
who appointed them.
who appointed them.
Okay.
And then after that, they show up on the ballot in the next election as an incumbent, which technically they are, but most people would think that they were already elected to be an incumbent, which isn't true.
So you got appointed judges by the governor that are now on the ballot as an incumbent, and it's easier to win as an incumbent than it is as a challenger,
Right.
is it?
Not only do you have an advantage, statistically, even just a rank and file politician, to be reelected as an incumbent, you get a significant advantage. But the problem is that you have to be an attorney to run against a judge.
Oh, yep.
That attorney has to practice in that district that judge is practicing in the district that the judge judges.
Sure. So the attorney doesn't want to go up against...
Political suicide, or career suicide, I should say, to run against a judge. That's why all these ballots, when you look at the judge you're voting for, there's only one name on there. No one ever runs against them.
That
You
makes...
see it rarely down in the cities, but out here, no one runs against judges.
That actually makes a lot of sense. So when we see corruption in city police departments and county sheriff's offices, it's enabled by these judges who are appointed by the...
I'm not going around here. I'm not going with this premise that there's already this rampant corruption going on in these PDs.
Sure, sure. So you believe that the Brainerd Police Department and the sheriff's office is for the most part legit?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And I'll guarantee you I've sued both of them more times than anyone else in this county. So I think I have authority to say.
So you've sued both the Brainerd individuals in the Brainerd Police Department and Crow Wing County Sheriff's Office several times?
Yes.
Okay. And so were those bad apples at the time? Did they get removed or?
Sometimes some appear bad apples and it's just a failure to communicate.
Sure.
And then after everything washes out, maybe they technically broke the law and you think that there's malice behind it, but it was just a mistake.
Sure.
Which happens. I mean, here's another problem with regard to the state. There's way too many laws, and you're going to expect these guys to know all the laws. Attorneys don't even know all the laws.
Right.
Judges don't know all the laws.
Sure.
So there's going to be mistakes made.
Are we still...
As you know, you've made data requests. I mean, holy shit, that's significant. The amount of law, and there's a lot of technicality to it, and, well, mistakes get made.
Sure, sure.
Is that malicious? No.
Sure.
It is.
I've heard it often said that ignorance of the law is not an excuse, especially with the folks that are enforcing the laws.
Well,
so if...
It's not entirely true, because sometimes there's intent requirements. So
Sure.
ignorance of the law, if you didn't know what you were doing was wrong, you didn't intend to break the law, sometimes that is a defense.
I have noticed that in a lot of statute that there is
In fact, qualified immunity itself covers
intent.
ignorance of the law.
Sure, sure,
So,
sure.
I don't know where that saying came from, but it's just one of those things.
Sure. All right. Okay. So it's a
Everyone
little.
doesn't know everything.
So would it be safe to say that it's a little too black and white, and there should be a little more gray? We have a group that just cannot stand cops no matter what, and then we have a group that enables the cops no matter what. And so so I think what you're trying to say is there's a more gray area
And
where.
we're going to keep playing the team red, team blue. So we already have that in politics with Republicans and Democrats.
Sure.
Their party does all right, the other party does all wrong, and vice versa.
Sure.
We got this weird binary light switch brain thing going on these days where we have to pick a team. It probably has to do with sports ball. Everyone watches sports ball for whatever reason, and they always have to pick their team. It's the same phenomenon. When they see their team get called for a foul, it's like the worst thing. Oh, the ref did the wrong call, blah, blah, blah. But then the other team does the exact same thing. It was the right call that they did a foul. And again, vice versa.
That makes sense. So you're saying a lot of people have biases, and so they jump on team Blue Line Gang, or they jump on team investigative journalist, basically.
If you can't critique your own team, then what are you doing?
Sure.
Your team's inevitably gonna get corrupted.
And
you can't critique your own team. You're still here?
I think.
Well, he's interviewing me, man.
I
got places to go too, man.
That's interesting that you brought that up. Critiquing our own team. How well? So you believe that both quote sides, both the people on the side of the journalists and the people on the side of the police are unable to critique their own team without bias.
If you're interested, you can get video of me having to just start my squad.
Oh yeah, is it dead?
Pretty funny.
That would be cool.
See, this is what I'm talking about. People, things happen, man.
Did you leave your lights?
Go ahead and get the jump pad.
It's
I got some cables. Oh, we left our lights on, huh? Left our lights on in this bad boy. I must have.
There
The
you
sucker's dead.
Was that a malicious act? No, it was a mistake.
Right. No, I get it. It's just that no, that does make sense. So you have a lot of people that I call bootlickers that are gonna back the cops up no matter what, and would
and then
you
got the ACAB people, which are equally stupid.
which are anything
Cops are bastards.
yep, and they're always depriving our rights. Okay, yes, there is kind of two teams like that, I've noticed.
Everything is just being torn apart. There's this huge schism between all these sides are being broken apart and made to fight each other, and it's ridiculous.
And you think it's because we're not willing to critique our own team? Did you hear that, Chief?
I'm sorry, no.
Troy believes that there's kind of a schism between the people and law enforcement because neither the people nor the law enforcement want to critique their own team or fairly critique their own team.
Well, I didn't say it was that absolute.
Sure, but
And you were talking about the public itself.
a lot of I should say a lot of anti-law enforcement people or people that are seen as anti-law enforcement will not critique, say, a journalist like myself, but they will have you under a microscope. And then your people or people that the anti-law enforcement sees as law enforcement or what they call bootlickers or whatever, they will say that you guys will not critique your own team. So now we have two different teams that are on complete opposite sides, neither one holding their own team accountable. Would you say that that's pretty accurate?
Well, I guess I don't maybe fully understand the perspective you're sharing. You say critique our own, and I would disagree with that for this simple fact that there.
Address believed to be 2504 Kermit Lane. Sounds like neighbors are yelling with each other. Looks like it's going to start getting into a fight here shortly.
I'll speak for our department, and this is true with a lot of other departments. We are constantly reviewing, evaluating, debriefing things that we do. Different incidents after the fact. We will debrief incidents. We will look at it with the ability to hindsight and discuss what went good, what could have been done better. I mean, we do that a lot, and sometimes that's critiquing. I mean, it's sometimes honest.
I guess I'll give you a couple of examples. Two examples that come.
Someone just ran into another squad.
I'm listening,
Uh-oh.
Matt.
We got an accident. We got a little squad accident. Whoops.
There you go.
I got a couple of examples. If a quote normal person or a common man, even if he is trying to rescue a child, goes into a garage in the city limits and fires his weapon after brandishing it with no safety on. I mean, that's one.
Don't put him in a
that-
position.
that's-
You really
that-
think I'm going to engage on this one?
No. It's kind of rhetorical. It's kind of what I'm telling you is rhetorical.
Asking for a friend.
Or for example, someone is on someone's on their, what do you guys call it, an MDC, your computer? Yep. Somebody's on an MDC and maybe they blow up a sheriff's office SUV by running into the back of somebody if they're on there. Now a normal person would get a ticket for initiating an electronic communication. However, that just doesn't seem to be the case if a law enforcement officer or other public official did the same thing. Does that make sense? I think that's where a lot of people are coming from, that a common man would get criminally charged, where a law enforcement officer or other public official will not. It'll be held internal.
In all honesty, Matt, I'm aware of the incidents you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, those incidents don't involve me and my department.
Sure.
It would not be appropriate for me to speak for other departments.
Yep.
I also know that it's been a hot button topic for you.
Uh-huh.
And that when you ask me a question about it, you're not looking for an answer. You're looking for my response to where maybe then you use my response to further this dialogue. So I don't know if
Well,
it's an answer you're looking
I
for.
am an investigative journalist, sir. I'm an investigative journalist. So, yep.
He knows. He doesn't.
Yep. Investigative journalists ask questions. I mean, your investigators are not going to call up the suspect and say, "Hey, I'm coming over to, record an interview between you and myself." No, they're just going to show up at the least expected time and start asking questions, right? And so that's what investigators do. That's what investigative journalists do. And so, sure. And
Instead of your little personal vendetta, you could have been asking more constructive questions for him, but he has to get a beer. So.
Oh yeah. All right, thank you, sir. Thanks for your time. Hey, I just had to get it in, man. He's the one. I know. See, you think I'm 3-0 in these court deals, but I'm not. I'm 3-1 because those guys got away with what they got away with about a year and a half ago, and I'm still a little bit salty about that. I can admit that. Well, falsifying the police report and tampering with dashing. But yep. Couldn't catch him.
Videos that you went through.
Yep, couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
They got away with it.
I still don't understand the motive that you think exists, but whatever. That's your prerogative. In any event, hopefully this was illustrative.
I
of
tell
the
you.
reality of things for your viewers.
I tell you what, I have 15 viewers, and 15 continuous viewers is actually quite a bit for my channel, and there'll be a lot more people watching this later. So hopefully it was informative. I mean, this guy just walked into the Brainerd Police Department and the Crow Wing County Sheriff's Office carrying an AR-15, and they didn't want to do anything but check the gun out.
Yeah, I mean, we had some deputies walking down the street, gave us a wave.
Yeah,
We
and driving the other.
That said, thanks for, you know.
I had a viewer that said that they've seen those two-way audits go a lot differently in other police stations and sheriff's offices.
Well, you know, they'd have to go through this.
Right.
To take me down.
Well, it kind of helps that our county board deemed Crow Wing County a two-way sanctuary, didn't they?
Not really, but in any event, yeah, it was they removed language because the board's crooked is the question mark. But yeah, you might want to investigate that.
Oh, really? There's a story there, is there?
Yes, there's a lot of stories.
Can you help us with the little lead on that story? Where should we poke around?
Well, look at the original draftings. Maybe you can even get the original draftings from Don Ryan.
Of the proposal to the.
Supposed to be, and then they did a little bait and switch during the vote itself.
Oh.
Which didn't follow rules because it was, I believe it was even different than what was in the packet that was given to the public. They did a little switcheroony at the last second. And,
So what's in there now was not. There was no public forum to discuss it.
Yeah. So we might want to look into that.
You know, we will. What kind of is that like a county ordinance, or what is it that got passed exactly there?
Ceremonial.
Ceremonial. What do you mean?
Anything has no effect in law.
Oh, okay. So they just said, hey, we're a two-way sanctuary, and that's it,
Yeah. What does that mean?
right? So there's no county policy or county ordinance, local ordinance, or anything like that protecting it. They're just saying to the public, we're not going to.
We like guns because we want votes.
Okay.
That's all that means.
Okay.
The same people on that same board, if they thought that they'd get more votes by saying, "Oh, we're going to be tough
No
on
guns.
then they would have said that.
Okay, so they're
Leave
just
anything on that board.
they just kind of riling up the people there.
Yeah, it was just there's a lot of people. I think Michael Starry's the one that started that movement.
Okay.
So maybe talk to him about it.
So what is it? What documentation would be different then if there's no lawful documentation documenting this decision to make Crow Wing County a two-way sanctuary? What is it?
What do you think two-way sanctuary means?
It just means that they're not going to enforce, say, for example,
So they say until that changes.
a permit.
It's like we don't have a draft until we have a draft.
So Minnesota has a permit to carry. So just to carry a gun, you need a permit, is what the state statute says, I believe.
Okay, fair enough.
And so they didn't ask you if you had a permit here. Maybe they know you already do or don't, but they didn't ask you if you had a permit to carry that gun here, I noticed.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what two-way sanctuary means then, is they're not going to enforce.
No. I got my permit from this sheriff. So,
Sure.
and I'm assuming that if you're walking around with an AR-15 unthreateningly, they probably feel that you probably have a permit.
Sure. Now I don't have a permit. What happens if I try that?
Well, now that you said that you don't have a permit,
Yeah.
and you're going to be walking around with a firearm, I guess expect your audit to go a different way.
Okay. Even though they didn't ask you if you had a permit, but they just kind of assumed you did. Do you think that's the case?
Well, maybe they'll assume you do.
Assume that I have a permit if I walk in there like that?
If anyone watches this video, then they're going to know you don't.
Right. So we could switch. I could give you the camera and you could give me the gun and I could
I'm
walk.
not gonna do that 'cause I'm not
So there is something to that. Old.
But if you want to test out what sanctuary city means, then you're more than welcome to get your own gun and wander around.
So there is documentation, though. There is some sort of documentation.
You can watch the board hearings. Look up the board. I don't remember the date, but I'm sure you can just look at it.
Sure. So they just all kind of collectively said, all right, we're going to go by this.
Yeah, there was a bunch of drafts that went through, and there's some sort of language that I believe Steve Barrows ended up doing a little switcheroony at the last second, and nobody called them out for it before they voted on it.
Okay.
So was that part of a plan? I mean, they do like to scheme things, and act like, oh, what, this is totally organic. Kind of like my little spat with regard to good old Bill Brecken in that video. I mean, they had that stage before I even showed up, and there's an article written about it.
Oh, really?
Watch the video, it's clearly staged.
Was that out in
Walked
Crosby?
I walked in to speak at the board meeting, and then Brecken says to Hogue, oh, Chair, would you mind if I address Mr. Scheffler before he speaks? Oh, yes, please do. And he literally had what he was going to say to me written out on a piece of paper. It was completely staged.
Huh.
But that's why I'm suing him for it. So, there's that.
But now these drafts, what kind of drafts are there? They're just little
Again, you're the investigative
little.
reporter.
Okay, well that's a good avenue to go down. I'm just wondering if
But all this stuff, it's just politics. It's fake.
sure. So it's just a draft of what they were gonna say.
Why don't you find a policy in the sheriff's office that says we're not going to enforce something?
Okay.
Then come back to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Did
right.
the board make the sheriff do that? No. Could they even do it? No.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right.
I don't know, and then talk to Don Ryan to say, hey, are you going to prosecute? What does this even mean? Read the language. I mean, the language itself really doesn't mean anything.
Okay. All right. So maybe I'll go snooping around at the county attorney's office here.
Have you listened to a political speech ever? It's always the same stuff, and it's meaningless.
Sure. Now here's the problem. I can't bring my camera into their county attorney's office because it happens to be in the courthouse.
Well, I mean, again, the sheriff's office would be the one that would enforce something like that.
Enforce.
So ask what exactly are they doing different because of this resolution that was passed?
Sure, that's a good idea. Maybe we'll check that out
And you can
because
report all you want.
that is interesting. I seriously.
Short of that, call up Don Ryan. You can talk to him on the phone.
Sure.
He's a good guy.
Sure. Don Ryan's a good guy, huh? Holy cow, you got more patience for these people than I do. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I guess I've dealt with them probably more than you.
Right.
In different capacities.
Right. So what happens? You sue them and then you go out for beers afterwards?
It's happened. I mean, I don't know. I mean, isn't it kind of like, have you been in a schoolyard fight where all of a sudden you both throw down and all of a sudden you come to a respect and understanding with each other? And,
Sure.
all right.
Sure.
Well, then you start talking. After you start talking, you have a dialogue with people. Here's the thing. I mean, how many people have even gone to a board meeting? How many people have even called their commissioner or house rep or anything? A small minority of the public.
Sure.
They don't engage with their government.
Right.
So they don't know them on a personal level at all.
Right. I find myself kind of going against the grain here by myself too. As you see, there's not a whole lot of people behind me that got my back here. I guess we got a squad. You know what I mean?
Davis
So
seemed to be pretty decent with you.
sure.
Joked around with you a little bit.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't think Adam was all that happy.
No,
with
he
you, but that's fair
he
enough.
never likes to see me. So
Well, if I was him, I probably wouldn't either.
right. And me seeing, I was hoping they threw out a different guy at us, like Bradley or Klang or something. I'm kind of sick of seeing Cronstead.
Once again, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah, he threatened to arrest me and he filed a criminal complaint against me, so I ain't really too fond of him. I beat the criminal complaint, of course, but he did threaten to arrest me for...
It's more nuanced than your expressions, your followers on the criminal complaint.
Oh, they've been watching.
He had to do with. I mean,
They've been watching.
It was just a technical ceremonial signature that had really nothing to do with anything.
Right. But I bet he took pleasure in signing it.
I mean, if he was all that instrumental, wouldn't he have been in court with you?
Right. He wasn't a witness. He just threw his signature on a complaint. Yeah.
There you go. He's a supervisor. He reviewed the complaint or the underlying facts that were asserted, and has drafted a complaint. As the judge said, nothing wrong with that.
I wonder if the captain did it because his sergeant is old Patrol Sergeant Ian Wilson. So maybe that criminal complaint ain't gonna hold as much water.
Well, again, I mean, if you were to actually sit down and not approach these people a hostile manner, I mean, maybe you have a different perspective even now.
Sure.
I mean, now that you're done with that, you actually talk to Lasher or whomever you think is super corrupt. Maybe you have a meeting of the minds and.
You heard what Lasher said in court. I mean, how are you gonna reason?
See, you might want to try doing that with public officials, but don't drag me into these things.
Sure.
I have no problem with Lasher.
Sure.
I have no problem with what's the new guy's name again?
Bartles.
Bartles.
Actually, Bartles was decent. He just didn't know any better.
Well,
You know. Yeah.
Someday he'll learn that after a while, you'll understand that writing a ticket or not writing a ticket, he gets paid the same.
I think.
So why give yourself all this extra work?
Sure.
Sure. Then he has to write tickets.
Sure.
You just happen to be the unfortunate guy that got the ticket.
I think that I encounter these people through negative encounters. You know what I mean? It's not like out of nowhere I go and seek them out. You know what I mean? It's because
If
one of their
situation, if it wasn't an FTO situation, you wouldn't have got a ticket.
no.
It would be unlikely for you to
Sure.
have gotten a ticket.
Sure. So you're saying there's a little collusion in there to write
No,
a ticket
I'm just
that otherwise.
saying that I mean, he's there getting trained.
Mhm.
You got to understand how to write a ticket.
Right.
Well, he kind of learned the hard way
Right.
on how not to write a ticket.
Right.
And that's fair enough. Again, I mean, it comes down to mistakes. Not everyone's perfect.
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
And if you thought it was malicious, well, why aren't you suing him then?
Well, because I don't have any case law in my favor. That's why.
Well, okay, so there you go.
Sure. I was actually kind of hoping to make some case law out of
Was
that
really
deal.
any malice on it, and quite frankly, you were lucky to win that case.
Right, but it came down to the judges again, like you said. It should have never been in court because there was no, witness testimony
Well, again, we can
backing up that
pull up
summons.
the transcript, and this can be a whole new video that you can have on your own.
Sure. But I do agree with you that it is a lot of the bad appleness is really enabled by judges.
And the bad appleness is that the guys that are looking to give you a hard time, they're out looking for you to give you a hard time.
Sure.
And those are the ones that you're going to have contact with.
Sure. Those are the
guys
ones.
that aren't, the vast majority that aren't looking to hassle people, you're not running into
You
them.
never see them. Right.
So, I mean, if you're interested, call up and say, hey, can I go on a ride along? And then get something just rando.
I wonder what
And then see how the conversation goes there.
my people would think of if I went on a ride along with
I don't
these
know if
jokers.
they'd let you sit and record the whole time, but
No.
at least you could report back what you saw and what you experienced.
Sure. You know how it goes nowadays. If you didn't record it, it didn't happen.
That certainly was a change in perspective for me the first time I ever went on a ride along when I was 18.
Sure. There's a lot of stuff going on in those patrol cars at that time, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on all the time. You got the radio going on all the time, and a ton of petty stuff happens. I've been on felony stops.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot going on a lot of the time, and then there's a lot of times in the evening especially, there's not much going on. So that's why you see them sitting in gas stations.
I got a viewer that says they think that you gave them advance notice that you were coming in with the gun because they seem to know you.
Well, everyone around here knows me.
They all know you,
Well, who doesn't know me?
right? How do they know you?
Well, didn't we just go through the whole lawsuit thing? And
Right.
my antics with the board and everything else.
So there you have it. He's been involved with a lot of lawsuits with a lot of public officials around here, and they hashed it out and kind of came to a, what would you call it, a mutual understanding.
So I'd ask your viewer that who did I talk to when we walked from here all the way down to the sheriff's office? I could have been anybody. Any officer could have seen me. Any person could have called it in. Anything could have happened.
Yeah.
So how did I give a heads up to the entire county?
Right,
I
right,
mean, that was your idea to walk down there. I wanted to just drive down there.
right, right,
So
right. Interesting. So I guess,
wouldn't you think that someone walking down the street with an AR-15 and if I'm like friends with everybody, wouldn't they say, maybe another time?
right,
Let's not do that. That's the
right, right.
walk into the public.
I-
was gonna be driving by seeing some guy.
From what I know of you, I don't believe it was staged.
with
I
a-
don't
with
believe
a-
it was
with a-
staged.
A double stacked magazine AR-15.
Hey, are you gonna make it down to the drag show down at the college here at 7 o'clock?
It was canceled. That's what
was-
what instigated this whole thing.
Oh, what happened there? So there was a drag show scheduled for what, 7 o'clock tonight?
Yes.
A drag show scheduled for 7 o'clock tonight, and what happened?
Apparently, someone called in and said that they're gonna bring a gun to the drag show.
So
At least that's what Central Lakes Community College asserts.
okay, so the college said that somebody called in to the college and said they were going to bring a gun.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which
and
I don't see what's illegal.
so you didn't see anything unlawful about just simply bringing a gun there?
No, I just brought a gun here.
Yeah,
I just brought a gun to the sheriff's office.
Right.
Why can't you bring a gun to other government property, which is
a school
Central Lakes
or a
College?
Minnesota State School and University is actually what it is. Yeah, yeah, and so he and there's rumor has it, we don't have this confirmed, but there might be being charges pressed against this individual for saying he was going to.
They sent the charges over from Brainerd PD over to Don Ryan to consider charges.
And so that's why we're
So I
here.
wanted to prove a point that, it's
That-
like, well, hey,
Simply having a gun is not unlawful, and so
so that person, if that's all he said was that he's gonna bring a gun, he was just saying nothing different than I'm gonna show up with clothes on. I mean, when legal's legal.
sure.
In fact, you have the constitutional right to carry a firearm, as opposed to, well, I don't know, clothes. You have a constitutional right to wear clothes. I don't know.
I don't know if we do we? Oh, well, we have a right to life, and clothing, I guess, could be considered a necessity of life. So,
The point is if a person just called in to say whatever, and it's a sore subject for me because in my graduate program at Hamlin, you can read all about it. I was on Fox and CNN and everything else, where I was advocating for concealed carry on campus, but they're a private university.
Sure.
They expelled me for even asking about it.
oh, because it's a private school. Now, if it was a Minnesota State college or university like we have now, they would have had a little two-way lawsuit on their hands, huh? Yeah.
Probably
Or a 1983 lawsuit and a 1A deprivation of 1A.
I mean, if I'm making a grievance about them banning guns on grounds and they suspend me for it.
And they suspend you for making a grievance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be it'd be a retaliation against your right to
There's
petition.
another problem. If anyone from Central Lakes College is watching, it's kind of a problem that you deleted your prior post about the drag show and
Oofta.
all the comments that were made.
Oofta. Little deprivation of 1A speech rights there, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of a problem, especially since the Supreme Court case just came out last week.
You got
saying
screenshots of them
that,
comments?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he does. We got screenshots of the deleted comments by a Minnesota.
People that made comments and now they're gone.
Oofta. That is a deprivation of
You'd
1A
think
right
it's
to
also
free
data
speech.
practices type thing, data retention.
Okay, so you're going to make a data request from Central Lakes College?
I'm just saying that data retention laws say you have to maintain data for so long.
Sure,
And if they're deleting it,
sure.
they're not retaining it.
Off a public forum.
And I'm sure they have to retain it more than
Right.
a week.
Right. Right. That's interesting. Well, so there goes the boy, I think people just might have changed their minds about you, buddy. With no. I think they're thinking maybe you're onto something here. So I heard the 5 o'clock bells ring about what, 5 minutes ago or something like that. They rang 5-10 minutes ago, which means I'm 5 to 10 minutes late for work. So I'm gonna have to wrap this up. Thanks for buddy for doing this. Thanks buddy for doing this. Hopefully some people were informed and entertained by this. Yeah, I admire the courage for doing this. I mean, I don't think I have
I know I just did it, but other people don't do it.
Don't do it.
The best thing in a situation like this, especially in a state like we are in, again, there's context to this. There's a reason. I was proving
Sure.
the point that this guy who's getting charged should not be charged
Sure.
just for saying that he's going to bring a firearm, which is his right.
Sure. Sure.
Give him a heads up.
Sure. So there's a
Now, if everyone starts walking around with AR-15s, all of a sudden the public's going to get a little freaked out.
right.
Yeah, we ran into a lady there, you know, but you're going to start riling up the lefties and everything else. And then they're going to start pressing their legislators to say, what the heck is going on here? You got freaking these
To come against it.
militia members running around with AR-15s, these assault weapons of war, you know, whatever. These mean-looking guns.
Sure.
And all of a sudden they're gonna go after what was actually barely passed in the first place, the Personal Protection Act. So again, there was a purpose to this,
Sure.
underlying purpose. It wasn't just a Second Amendment audit.
Right.
That was just kind of being funny.
Sure. So the reason, is this correct? The reason you did this is because it sounds like someone's getting
They
charges.
sent charges over to Don Ryan, the county attorney, the prosecuting guy. From what I understand, the only facts I know of it is that he called and said that he was going to bring a firearm. If there's more to it, which there may very well be, then
Sure.
maybe he made a credible threat.
Right.
He's going to shoot the whole place up with that gun that he's going to
Sure. Sure.
But that's not what the ICR said. The ICR just purely, you know, before you go, you should ask what happened with the car accident.
Oh wow. So you read the ICR already?
Yeah.
Nice.
You should ask what happened in that car accident.
Oh, why is this the one that got bumped, or is this guy that
Well,
did
it
the
was
bumping?
A lady officer that was driving that ran into the car, but one of these cars might have been the one that got hit.
Yeah, I
They may
think
be able to tell you.
I thought this lady bumped into.
Not if there's any damage.
I thought he bumped into right back here. Right here, it looks like maybe. No, that ain't it. Yeah, I think it is right there. I think it's right here, maybe.
I was the first one to leave. Oh, right on. Who was,
Oh.
What officer was that? Not the officer Boggs. Oh, okay, right on.
Boggs bumped one of these. She turned a little too sharp, I think,
Yeah.
trying to get out of here, and
Turned a little too sharp.
nosed into one of the rear ends of these other automobiles.
That's not good.
Yeah, I know. Oh, we got a.
I was curious if there was damage.
We got a.
No, it wasn't mine.
Hey, you guys should shut your computer screens.
That one open?
Yeah. Yeah, we got plain view doctrine there. Nice cars, though.
Yeah, they're pretty.
They handle pretty good, or what?
I think so.
Yeah.
I like the Tahoe.
Oh, you like the Tahoes better than these? Than these Fords?
Yeah.
What are these? These are
Explorers.
Ford Explorers. We call them Ford Exploders.
Exploders?
Yep. You ever had one blow on you?
I haven't.
No. I had
I've
a.
had a term before though.
I had a Ford Exploder one time, and I was down in the St. Cloud State parking lot, and every ounce of fluid in the thing just fell right out onto the parking lot. So,
we try to keep up on the maintenance on these things. So
yeah, you'll have a little ding on that other car that she cut into there. We'll have to get the body guys on that one.
Oh, hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So does your audience still think these guys are a criminal gang?
Or
are they coming around?
we haven't
Just a little bit.
we haven't got a comment such as that, but I've even called them that, the Blue Line Gang, and so we're trying to bridge the gap between the community and law enforcement.
Okay.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, and so we think there's a team red and a team blue or whatever, you know, and
No, it's kind of like
just
Republican versus
you know,
Democrat.
either not exactly
Should be
based,
that way.
not exactly based on who is Republican or Democrat, but just who's in favor of law enforcement and who's not in favor of law enforcement. We think there's a pretty significant gap, you know, where the two sides just can't seem to coexist as one. You know what I mean? And so that ultimately.
That's the beauty of America, you know, everyone can have their own opinions and stuff.
Well, right, but I think there's becoming too much of a schism of people thinking that either all cops are totally
Right.
perfect all the time, which then leads to the other side. All cops can't do anything right at all. It's like this is not healthy. But so I noticed and now I figured it out. The side of your squads are supposed to have squad numbers on them because it's state statute.
Yeah, there is on the.
Yeah,
under.
it's like not visible, really, is it? I mean, it's the same color as the paint of the car.
I think they're like a
No number on
like
it.
a 19 times the lights.
Oh, sure, yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah, these numbers here.
it's reflected.
Look at that. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, you can't even see it.
Yeah.
So when I saw them, I'm like, they don't have side squad numbers. What's going on here? But yeah, I guess they do. I don't know if statute says they need to be plainly visible.
Hey buddy, I was supposed to be to work 10 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta go.
Good deal.
Yep. Hey, what's the name?
Officer Bowler.
Officer Bowler?
Yeah, nice
Br-
to meet you guys.
You just got picked up, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been here not long then.
Yep.
How about an officer? Did you come from another agency or?
No, freshly hired out of school. So.
Nice.
I think I ran into you at the courthouse.
Yeah, when I was a CSL.
Yeah, I think I was busting your nuts about 6th Street or something like that. Yeah, it's
So-
still unresolved.
Right. Yeah, we got a couple of issues that are unresolved. But those are gonna have to wait for another day because I gotta make sure that I keep my job. I'm late already. You guys have a good one. Thank you.
There you go. Hopefully everyone learned something.
Yeah, that was cool. Well, thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. I
Risking
appreciate
my life.
risking your life to.
That's what I do for my people.
Nice. All right, thanks, buddy.
All right, cool.
Hey, Maddie. What's up, Maddie?
Want to say hi?
What's up, Maddie?
Huh?
Hey, Maddie. How you doing, puppy?
There you go. She's
How you
more
doing?
Activism than anyone I know.
Oh yeah, she is an activism dog. All right, that took a lot of courage, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me know about it and come down and live stream that.
Somehow. So I gotta go somewhere after this. I don't think I'm gonna drive home, so I don't want my ER in plain view.
Oh yeah,
I don't need it stolen.
right? Stolen.
Oh, wouldn't that suck?
Yeah, that would suck. Probably got the. That is kind of a reddish color. I always thought that was black or dark blue or something. It is kind of an auburn. Yeah,
It's like maroonish.
Yeah.
Dark cherry.
it's nice. It's a nice car. Yeah. All right, Maddie. I got to get to work. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Off you go. All
Uh,
right, now, so from now on, you can just tone it down with these guys a little bit, Maybe try have a meeting of the minds.
We'll see. We'll see what kind of comments I get on this, whether they're calling me a bootlicker afterwards or not. But we'll see what.
And again, all you got to do is tell them to walk down the street in their county with an AR-15, and then they can get back to us.
Right. Hey, there's a challenge, folks.
Or, how many government officials have you brought to court and brought to justice?
Sure. That's
So if the number is 0,
then don't be calling us bootlickers if you have filed 0 civil lawsuits
I got
against.
one going against the sheriff's office right now.
I got one going against the sheriff's office too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Your part.
Oh, sure enough. All right. Thanks, buddy.
Not against the current sheriff, the last one.
Oh, I got one going against the current sheriff. So, all right, thanks a lot, buddy. Appreciate it. Keep on sticking it to the man, or we can't call it that anymore. Keep on bridging the gap between the people and the man, Scheffler. All right, take it easy, buddy. Yeah. All right, folks, I got to get to work. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you found that informative and entertaining. We are live here at the Brainerd Police Department. We just made our way down to the sheriff's office and back. Buddy boy here busted out his AR-15 and carried it into the Brainerd Police Department and the Crow Wing County Sheriff's Office in protest. Be a good slave and get all the property, the proper papers, and pay all your taxes. Big G. I am further along the line of a little less compliance than this guy. This guy's pretty compliant, but when he walks into the police department and the sheriff's office with an AR-15, they don't seem to do anything. They say, "Hey, Troy, let's see your gun," you know? So that's definitely a 2A audit pass. And the reason he was doing this again is because the Brainerd Police Department sent I guess, evidence over to the county attorney's office for a guy that said he was going to bring a gun to the drag show that's going to be held at the Central Lakes College this evening at 7 o'clock this evening, Central Time. And I guess they canceled the drag show because of that call. So our buddy here does not like it that he says he doesn't know, but according to the ICR report, it sounds like the guy just said he was going to bring a gun. Didn't say he was gonna, do anything with the gun. He just said he was gonna bring a gun. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that can be construed as a threat or not. But he didn't like it that it looks like charges are being pressed against this guy. And so that's why he conducted this 2A audit down here. As he says, who cares? He can have a gun in a government building like Central Lakes College. And now Central Lakes College deleted all of their posts with all of the comments on their posts about the drag show. They deleted everything, made it look like they weren't even going to have it, so, which is a 1A speech issue. We're going to have to get into this later, folks, because I am late for work. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time. Law-abiding Minnesotan with North Central MN Press out.